So where I did need money, and this is what I was saying before, was to get the independent testing done. And so I'm like, okay, well, what are my assets? What do I have? Well, my huge asset is that I own the license to this product. And so I sold the rights to Asia to someone. Now, keep in mind, we've got a product. I've formulated that now. I can't even tell you how effectively it works other than me spraying it on my face and taking before and afters. But I had enough gumption and enough, hypothetical evidence, and of course the science behind it to begin with, that I sold those rights again to someone else who saw the potential. And I sold those for a 6-figure amount, enough to do the testing so that we could move forward. So I just never made money an issue because I didn't have the money. If I made money an issue, this never would have happened.
Nothing would ever happen.
Yeah, no, nothing. Because it's a sticking point quite often.
It is. Very much so.
And even now, like, one of the hurdles that we come against in our company is growing too quickly. So we keep getting these cash flow funnels where suddenly we're like, yeah, we just got 2 more global distributors. They both want product, like right now. And so I have to bankroll thousands of units of product to get to them before I pay, So even now it's still up and down. Cash flow is still there, but you don't make cash the issue, or you'll stop. You won't move yourself forward.
And I think that's where, if you know where your why is and why you're doing it, nothing else seems to matter. There'll always be a solution.
Yeah.
So if you're driven for the right reasons and doing it, like, you're not doing it for the bankroll or the cash flow. You're doing it for the other reasons because everything else will come.
Yes.
And you're making a huge difference, aren't you, with what you're doing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And I think, the first thing you have to do, like I said, is know your own assets, but have confidence in yourself. Like if you're about to do something and you don't think you're going to win, listen to that little voice, because you're probably not. If you're doing something and you think you're going to win, then do everything you can to get it over that finish line. Here's a quick little story. When it came to worldwide summer marketing, and my husband and I bringing that franchise to New Zealand, I knew that we should be and wanted to be the ones doing that we had all the skills to make that successful in this country. It was a $100,000 franchise fee to bring it here, and we didn't have that kind of money. And so I just put my big girl hat on and thought, you know what, this should be me doing it. And if it is, then the head office is going to benefit because no one's going to do a better job than I will. And I just said to Greg Milner, the owner, I said, you know what, you don't want anyone else doing this because I should be the one doing it and I'll do it the best. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay you off at a certain percentage until that fee is paid off. We've been to the bank had said no. And so we just thought, well, how can we use our skills? One of my skills is talking. So I talked our way into it. And it worked. So what we did is we took 10% of our income for 10 months. It took us 10 months to pay off a $100,000 license fee.
That's amazing.
Because we had to, because we were only making 10%. We needed to live, right? Yeah. So there was that passion and there was that drive, but there was always that, I said we're the ones to do this, so we had to prove that we were the ones to do it. And we just worked out another way. You've got to remember in life that when someone says to you, hey, Tony, this is what I'm going to offer you, they're giving you their best case scenario. If that doesn't work for you, but you know that you'll be a winner at it, go back to them with a different scenario. It's called negotiating. And I think sometimes we forget that business is a negotiating process. We just go, oh, I can't do that. So, oh well, can't do it.
And sometimes I think people think it looks too hard, so they give up.
Yeah.
Because they can't see outside. And nothing's, if you want it bad enough, nothing's ever too hard. You'll always find the way.
Yeah. Do you know what I hear a lot too, like at the beginning of this journey, and people who love me dearly, who think that they're cushioning me, I guess, they're like, Rachel, honestly, if it's that good, surely someone would have done it already. And because they think, oh, I don't want to fall on her ass after putting all this hard work in. But that's what I mean. If any part of you doubts that you're going to win, you're probably right. But if every part of you goes, well, no, nobody could have done it. This is brand new. This is actually nobody can do it because I'm the only person in the world that owns this. Like you will just drive forward.
And you know when you're meant to be doing something, don't you? It's in you. You know that this is the right time for me to be doing this. This is the space that I'm supposed to be in.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And that's why you're so successful.
Oh, thanks. It was funny. We were chatting beforehand, and you were joking at how long my introduction was, and I was quite flattered at that. But it's I don't stop and pat myself on the back and remind myself of this all the time. I draw experience and take that with me. I take my learning with me. I don't take my ego with me.
No. And that's great, and that's what I love about you. And I think, one of the things that inspires me about you too, Rach, is that you do something and you learn the lessons from it, and you do it really, really well, and then you're on to the next thing. So it's never, ever just sitting there and going back and going, I did this and I created it. It's moving those experiences and those lessons onto something else, which is great.
Yeah. Thanks. And I think that just kind of, and most entrepreneurs you're someone who wants to grow. You see the next opportunity.
Yeah.
And and you just kind of move on to, also we were talking before, my next opportunity is setting up a gene therapy clinic in Fiji on 150 acres of owning this resort as part of this. And, I'm not going to, some people, I think they pretend that they're cool, calm and collected. I'm not one of those people. This is blowing my mind. I'm like, oh my God. How does this happen? But it's a natural, progressive step. And, when it comes to money, a number is just a number. Things cost what they cost. You make what you make.
And there's enough money to go around.
There is. There's billions of dollars being traded every single day in this world. Yeah. Some of us just aren't putting our hand up high enough to catch it. And it does, I find it hilarious. I'll be really, really honest with you. There's this, possible awards coming up and finalist things. And I do. I feel really successful. Sometimes our mortgage goes out and we're in overdraft and I go to buy a coffee down the road and I'm like, oh, what happened here? But I know that I will move past this phase as well. When you're in a growth phase, it happens. And I just want you to know it happens to everyone, and it's made me realize, so all these people I've been admiring for years, when you read their books and you read their stories, and it's like, it happens to them too. You don't just get rich instantly.
No, it's a lot of time and a lot of action. And, sometimes I think people looking in at business owners feel like, oh, they've got lots of money or that, but sometimes it's the hardest and the poorest we've been.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's really important to project the image to your customers and your peers that obviously you are here, that you're not kind of like this dosser. So it's a compliment that you presented that image well, and that's what people feel of you. Yeah. But everybody hits cash flow gluts, because what you'll find is the bigger your company gets, the bigger it is. So my cash flow gluts used to be, I need a few $100s to order product, or I need I need a few $1,000s to order my manuals. Well, now it's, I need $100,000 to order bottles. And the number just gets bigger.
And that's the thing, people don't realise. Yes, you have, when you're playing at a certain level, you'll always have some sort of money issue if you allow it. But as you grow and your companies grow, the money issues are still there. They just get bigger in the numbers.
Yes, exactly. And that's what you're saying. I could, One Truth is at a place where I could start sitting on my laurels if I wanted to, but I have this opportunity for a gene therapy clinic now. And that's going to be more reinvestment, but then look at what I've got. And so I've kind of, success, I think, is judged on, you've got a roof over your family's head, you're feeding them, obviously, that kind of thing. But also success is judged on your potential. Yeah. And so the potential of my company at the moment, with this license to TAM 818, I'm also running clinical trials at the Auckland University about orally ingesting it. Wow. So it could become the next pharmaceutical supplement or pharmaceutical medicine for curing age-related diseases.
Wow.
So I'm not dripping in diamonds, but I own the license to this.
Yeah.
And so I think sometimes you have to, sometimes people look at opportunities as to how quickly can I make money from that. You have to look at it and go, how big an asset is that going to be to me and my company?
Yeah, and does it rock your boat?
Yeah, does it? Yeah.
Because if it doesn't rock your boat, you're wasting your time. aren't you?
Absolutely. If you're hauling your ass to make yourself do it, it is not going to happen.
And just for the money, and there's no, I mean, for me, that would be like, I'm motivated by money, but to do something for money is the wrong motivation for me. Like, I'm not going to, unless, and you're probably a bit like you, Rach, there has to be more to it than the money. It's, you have to, it's the helping, it's the doing, it's the action, and it flows on.
Yes, absolutely. The number of times, again, well-meaning people, oh God, aren't you just going to give up now? Why don't you go get a job? You would have like such a great salary and such a fantastic role. And they're not wrong, I would.
Yeah, totally.
But there's a cap on that.
Yeah.
There's a roof on that. And that's not for me. That's not for my personality.
No.